What up, though, y'all? It's Chris, broadcasting from the D. Our girl Sha'Carri Richardson, she is in the algorithm, and she's been arrested. The report came out. Let's get into it. It says police report. Sha'Carri Richardson was arrested after repeatedly shoving boyfriend Christian Coleman and throwing a pair of headphones at him. Oh boy. Let's continue. Earlier today, Let'sRun.com reported that Sha'Carri Richardson was arrested at Seattle Tacoma International Airport on Sunday night. Now we have obtained the police report from the incident and know why she was placed in police custody. Richard was arrested on Sunday night after an altercation involving fellow elite sprinter Christian Coleman at the airport, during which it was alleged that video shows that Richardson repeatedly pushed Coleman and threw a pair of headphones at him. Oh man, this young lady, and I like her, and I really be rooting for her, but she has some healing to do. She's been in just a few years that she's kind of like been in the public eye. She's been in a few things that has just been kind of messy, and it's demonstrated that she's got a lot of not only maturing to do, but some healing to do. You know, I remember she she lost her mom right before the Olympic trials, right? And then she tested and they found marijuana in her system. She wasn't allowed to compete. And that was very disappointing because I wanted to see her run in the Olympics. She didn't get to. She got to compete in the 2024 Olympics and she was out there killing it, but I felt robbed not being able to see her compete, and I know she felt robbed herself because she's a competitor. All right, you could tell she wants to win. She wants to get out there and represent and whatnot. So it was just it was sad on both sides. It was sad for her as an elite level athlete, and it was sad for us people that believed in her and wanted to see her do her thing. Like, it was just like, damn, man, like, come on, why are you getting involved in stuff like this just when you got the limelight shined on you? People starting to see what you're capable of. You already getting involved in messy stuff. But let's continue. According to the police report, Richardson and Coleman were involved in a verbal altercation as they went through security screening. In the report, Officer Paul Chung of the Port of Seattle Police Department wrote the following about the incident. I eventually learned and watched security video that corroborated what I saw on camera, that Coleman and Richardson were involved in a verbal altercation as they exited through security screening. Just outside the screening area, Richardson is following and getting close to Coleman several times as Coleman appears to be trying to walk away. Richard then pushes Coleman hard enough that it sends him crashing into a nearby column. Coleman continues to try to walk away in an effort to get away from Richardson, but she continues to bump into him and get into his personal space. She again pushes Coleman again hard enough that it sends him flying a few feet away. At this point, it appears Coleman goes back to the TSA screening lanes in an attempt to get help. Richardson continues to follow him, still getting close to his personal space, and she throws a pair of headphones. Oh boy. Yeah, striking him somewhere on his body. So this is why she got arrested. She's clearly the aggressor here. And the thing is that men don't typically report domestic abuse. Women will run quick to go get that report. Not always, but way more frequently than a man will. Hell, women will lie. Women will say a dude was putting hands on him when he wasn't. Men typically don't do that. Run to the cops. Oh, she was hitting me and she wasn't. In this case, even then, he was trying to diffuse the situation instead of escalate it by walking away. And see, this is one of the things, man. Women need the guidance and headship and calmness of a man. They really do, especially when you have a young lady like this. Remember, not too long ago, she was in a relationship with another chick. That other chick would have matched this energy. All right. That other chick would have been fighting her right back. But men have to remain calm, stoic, even tone, and understand this just ain't it. I got too much to lose. I'm not about to sit up here and crash out with you over some disagreement. My career over, your career over, and then, now what? Her career not going to be over though, because there's a double standard. Women can get away with bad behavior like this and still have a Nike endorsement, which she has. That's probably, she's not going to lose that. She'll be able to still go on and have other sponsorships or whatever behind getting arrested for putting her hands on this man. However, if he would have reacted in any way, putting his hands on her, even in self-defense, his career is over. It's BS, but that's the world that we live in today. Coleman was interviewed by Port of Seattle police at the airport and stated he had gotten into a heated argument with Richardson, whom he said was his girlfriend of over 2 years. Dang, it's been that long, huh? When asked to elaborate on what he meant by heated, Coleman declined to do so. He not cooperating with the police. He don't want to see his chick get in trouble over this stuff, but had it been reversed, I don't know if he would have been given the same grace. It says he stated nothing happened and denied anything physical had occurred. He declined to provide his name or share his identification with the officer and declined to participate any further in the investigation. The police report also stated that Coleman declined to be a victim. So, again, this is something that you usually see when it's the man on the receiving end of this sort of behavior from the woman. The man is not trying to jam her up. He don't want to see her get arrested. He understands that stuff like this could possibly, though unlikely, could possibly be damaging to her career, and he don't want to do that to her. However, because of video evidence, Richardson was placed into custody on probable cause of domestic violence, fourth-degree assault, and booked into the South Correctional Entity in Des Moines, Washington. On Sunday evening, she was released. On Monday afternoon, Washington has very stringent domestic violence laws where an officer has to make an arrest with no discretion if something happened within 4 hours of the officer arriving. Fourth-degree assault is the least severe serious of the 4 degrees of assault in Washington state. So she's, been hit with assault, but they gave her the weakest possible. I mean, I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but y'all see the double standard here. He would not have been given this same grace had he had behaved in the same manner. They just arrested her because they got to, and they're charging her with the lowest thing. And again, her career likely is not going to take any sort of hit behind this. Women are allowed to behave this way, like all aggressive and angry and all that sort of stuff. And I feel for her to a certain extent. She was raised by her grandma. She lost her mom. I don't really know what was going on with her, with her mom, of why her grandma raised her, but we've heard no speak of a father. And man, I'm going to say this again. I say this in other videos. Shout outs to dads who raise their kids, man. Because when you have a daughter that's out here or whatever, and she like experimenting with chicks, and now she's sick of chicks, and now she want to be with a man, all that. This typically doesn't happen when the dad is in the picture. It just really don't. It happens, but the frequency of it is so much lower. You don't get the girls out here deciding that they scissoring 1 minute and then they want to be penetrated the next minute. The women typically aren't trying to fight a man, because a dad will teach his daughter usually, don't you fight no man. Don't you ever try to jump in a man's face like you can whoop him, because that's just not gonna happen. You got her attacking a man because she feels protected. She knows he's not going to respond because the likelihood that this is the first time this has happened is low. All right. And if she willing to crash out like this and behave like this in public, in an airport of all places, one can only imagine the way she behaves when they're in private, man. So let's finish up this article. Once Richardson was booked, the prosecutor in the case, the city of SeaTax prosecutor's office, has 72 hours in which to file charges should it choose to do so. It was not immediately clear if any charges had been filed in Richardson's case. None were listed in Richardson's South Correctional Entity inmate files. So they may not even file charges, man. Why even arrest her if there's not going to be any consequences whatsoever? Like, why even arrest her? Richardson's agent, Emmanuel Hudson, did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Friday. Talk about Sha'Carri Richardson's arrest on our world famous fan for, oh, okay, that's the website saying that they got a forum and you can go over there and talk about it, which I will not be doing. But, you know, it's unfortunate. As I said, I really like Sha'Carri Richardson, but she got to get her act together, man. You know, she really got to, like, change. If you're going to be with a man, be with a man. If you're going to be with a woman, be with a woman. But that toxic relationship stuff that she was doing when she had the girlfriend before, remember the girlfriend, you know, there was like a report or something, the girlfriend was abusing her or something like that. Like, don't bring that energy into a situation with a man, because that's very dangerous. I don't care how bad of a chick you think you are. The moment a man decides to get serious, all you can do is get your ass kicked until he feels like stopping. There's nothing that you can do about it. If a man jumps on you, there is nothing that you can do about it except wait till he gets tired or wait till he don't feel like whooping off on your ass anymore. So just, I don't know, man. You get women that they've been with chicks and where this stuff used to fly, and then they get with a man and they're almost more disrespectful to the man than they were with the chick that they were in a relationship with, because they know they can behave this way and he not gonna go upside their head. Where when they behave like this with the chick, she was gonna return that energy. So I don't know. Honestly, if I could keep it a buck with y'all, I don't recommend you as a man out there ever really date a chick that's been in a long-term relationship with another woman. There's going to be some issues there that you are not going to want to deal with. This young man, I think he needs to go ahead and split from her. And I really don't want that for her, but it's necessary for him. Because now that he's been out in public and there's been this sort of thing, if this was behind doors, which I'm sure has happened, that's one thing. But once she start being messy like this in public, you got to go ahead and cut her, man. Because you are an elite level athlete. Sponsorship's going to shy away from him because of this behavior she exuded. How is that fair? You know, Gatorade and Powerade and Hanes and all them, they will shy away from him because she was being messy in public. And that's who he's choosing to be with. So, no, he going to have to go ahead and keep it a buck, man, and just leave her alone. I'm sure he loves her, which is why he with her, but, and look, sometimes it ain't even about that. You got to just go ahead and keep it moving. I'm going to leave it there, though, you guys. Hit me with a like if you like what I do. Hit me with a sub if you like what I do. Hit me in them comments. I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.